Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And how are you on this bright Thursday morning? And it's our getting it done with gratitude morning. And we're here, your co hosts. We have been on this journey with you since April. And I must say, I think for both of us, it has just been a marvelous, a wonderful, inspiring. I could run out of words. It really has been such a feel good to get up every Thursday and come and do this and to share with you all of our findings on gratitude and how it really impacts our life. And this morning is no different. This morning we are talking about confidence. And we wonder sometimes, does confidence have a link to gratitude? Vice versa, does gratitude have a link to confidence? And research says yes. And we know it does. And that's what we're going to talk about this morning. So let's get right into it. Joining us for the first time, I'm Karen Williams Thompson. I'm a life and business strategist, and I get to help women say yes to themselves, to really get absolutely clear on what is it they truly, truly want, put away, push away, peel away what's keeping them blocked, what's keeping them stuck, and then help them to create a strategic plan that's in alignment with their vision for their lives so that they can set goals that they can successfully achieve. Why? To live the life of fulfillment and happiness that they have always dreamed of. And I get to do this every week with my friend and colleague, Shelly Ann. So, Shelly Ann, how are you this morning?
Oh, this morning, hi, thank you, Karen. Morning, welcome to those who are looking. Uh, I'm a bit sleepy this morning, I have to admit. It's one of those mornings when I, I'm only here because we're talking about gratitude, and that's oh, and I get to have this conversation with you about gratitude on a Thursday. I cannot miss that. It really is so energizing for me every Thursday. It kind of like sets the rest of my week and into the next week. And I'm super excited about gratitude because I get to share the beauty of life with my clients. That's the way that I see it. Um I'm a gratitude guide and habit coach. And so what I do is to actually help my clients understand how powerful gratitude is, activate it in their life so that they can kind of filter out all the noise and all the other things that are coming at them so they can zero in on those habits that really get them to where they want to be. Because, there are lots of quotations about, us being the sum total of our habits and so on. So
Hmm.
if you find that you're stuck and you want to do things differently, but you don't know where to begin or how to get started, start with gratitude. And that is the easiest, smallest beginning. BJ Fogg in Tiny Habits talks about starting like micro small. Gratitude is that micro small habit that you can begin with. And then it really helps you build the momentum. And it is so amazing to me. So far, we've been looking at how gratitude is connected to so many things, and gratitude and confidence. There is a huge connection between gratitude and confidence. And I'm almost certain many people have not made that connection
Hmm.
because when we think of gratitude, most of us think of being thankful, and that's it. But there's so much power we've been discussing. We've
Yes.
looked at, gratitude and decision making, gratitude and resilience, gratitude,
Leadership.
yeah, and leadership, and so many connections with gratitude. And so gratitude and confidence, to me, it's inevitable. It's absolutely powerful, as with all things gratitude. Um and I think, I was looking for, like, what is the connecting point between gratitude and confidence. And I figured it out to be the fact that gratitude helps you present evidence.
Hmm.
And so the definition of confidence that I have, let me just bring it up. Um, it's all around like feeling sure of yourself and your abilities. And self-confident individuals are decisive and make decisions based upon what they think the best option is for them. They avoid overthinking. So we have all of these things, but that part about feeling sure of your abilities. What do you think about that in terms of like defining confidence? Because I think in the definition of confidence is where the connection between confidence and gratitude can be very clearly established.
Well, I think, and I agree with what you said so far, but I also think, that for me, confidence and courage are linked because,
Mhm,
when you are confident, you are more courageous. And when you apply gratitude, when you are present, when you are thinking of what it is that you are appreciative of in your life, when you focus more on what you have and less on what you don't have,
mhm.
then you grow in confidence in yourself. And it's in growing in that confidence that you then also build your courage. So to me, this is so intricately interwoven. And it takes time to build that feeling of being sure of yourself. It takes time to become that confident person. I know some people may argue that some people may be born with it, but I think it takes time to do it. And it's the same thing with gratitude. It takes time. And what it's saying to us is that if we build these habits, little steps, one on top of the other, then we can have the life that we want. We can have the life of fulfillment. We don't have to let fear and anxiety um, rob us of what we really want,
Mhm.
because fear and anxiety are not based in evidence, whereas gratitude is based in evidence. And I think
Yeah.
that's a fundamental difference. And so gratitude can really play a significant role in helping you navigate those times when you feel that you lack the courage, where anxiety and doubt are showing up. I call them, that the little people in there that now want to say that they're going to have a party. Because while fear and anxiety shrink your ability, to act with courage and confidence, when you apply gratitude, though, you grow in that. You grow in the opposite. You grow in the strength that you have within. You draw on that inner
Yes.
you and that inner being. So I
Mhm.
do think that there is a direct link between those two.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And for me, I keep going back to that, as you mentioned there, the evidence, because remember, gratitude is about being present, and it's about, recognizing what exists. And I found this sentence in one of the articles that I was reading. This is from a confidence coach. It says, gratitude is an honest expression of thanks towards something in your life without needing it to be a certain way. And I found that to be quite profound. The last part that says, without needing it to be a certain way. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that is also part of the power of, gratitude influencing the self-confidence, because when you are present and you look at the things that you are grateful for, and you look at, where you've been, where you are now, all the positive things that exist, because remember, gratitude is an honest look, right? It's not,
Mm-hmm.
we're not manufacturing ideas here. We're looking at exactly what exists. And when you look at what exists and you look at it with curiosity and you look at it with wonder, then you realize, hey, I am here. I've done all these things. I've been all these places. I've gained all this experience. And this is what I have. And this is what I can be grateful for that I actually have. And
Mm-hmm.
while the gratitude is infusing all the positivity and, the positive happy hormones and all those things, it makes you feel better about yourself, because you're looking at what exists in you.
Yes.
And as you said, not what's missing. So while you're focusing on what exists, you can't help but be confident about what exists because it's there. And to me,
It's
that's
happened
really
already.
how it happens. Yeah,
Yes.
it's happened already. You've done this already.
Mm-hmm.
This is who you actually are,
Mm-hmm.
and this is something to be grateful for.
And you get to tell
And
yourself, I I have done it. There is the
yes,
evidence to show that I have done it.
yes,
And that's when you can, then add, and I'm grateful for it. And so gratitude is really the counterbalance for
yeah,
all of these things. It's the counterbalance for anxiety, it's the counterbalance for fear. So gratitude, like when you're measuring something on the scale and it goes up and down, gratitude helps to bring everything back into. And so
absolutely.
it's the perspective. Gratitude encourages us to focus on the positive things in your life. And so when you're looking at it from that perspective, then with the evidence in front of you, it's like you have no other choice then but to believe, because it's not like you're something that you can't see that you're telling someone, oh, this is going to happen, da 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 da. It's something that you've done, something you've accomplished. It's there in front of you. You're present to it.
Yeah.
So the evidence being there to support that you have done and have achieved, the gratitude is just going to help it to fly.
And that's the thing that I find so beautiful about gratitude is that, when when we think about people who are, lacking self-esteem and they're lacking confidence in ourselves, in themselves, and I say ourselves because yes, we, with the imposter syndrome and all those other challenges, there are times when we all go through a period of doubt and and worry about, am I good enough? Do I fit in? Can I do this? And what gratitude does is that it answers those questions. Am I good enough? Well, yes, you are. How do you know? How are you so sure? Well, you see, and then we roll out the scroll and we have the evidence, written. And that's one of the reasons I really advocate journaling and,
Mm.
writing things down and
Hmm.
listing the
Hmm.
gratitudes, not just saying it in your mind, because there are moments when, for me, it happens most when I'm tired and, I haven't eaten well, or, those kinds of moments when I'm physically exhausted.
Hmm.
My mind, all the habits and so on come under a little bit of strain. And what helps me through is activating the gratitude. Because when the doubts come in, the evidence is there. But when I'm exhausted and when I'm tired, I sometimes don't remember. I don't remember all the evidence.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
because I write it down, I can
Hmm.
pull my journal
Yes.
and flip through and start reading to help.
And another thing, as you were speaking, what came up for me was another thing that gets in that way is stress. When you are under a lot of stress, when things are not going as you want them to go, you don't feel as confident as you would feel otherwise. And gratitude is known to be a reducer of stress.
Hmm.
So, and to lower the stress level. So, and the thing is that when you are less stressed, you become more confident because things are working out. So then those feelings of anxiety start to recede. And this again is how the confidence and the gratitude is really linked. So reducing the stress through gratitude helps you to create a space for courage and confidence to emerge. And that's what you want to do. You're taking the I don't want to use the word negatives, but nothing else was popping into the head at the minute. But you're taking those other emotions, those other feelings, those saboteurs, and you're counterbalancing it with something that's really going to bring you to the present, show you all the things that you do have and why it's working. And in doing that, you're creating the shift, which all leads back to perception again and coming back to the evidence. And
Mhm.
so managing stress thing, and when you manage stress, because these things are all like little ripples, and when you manage the stress now and you create the space for the courage and the confidence, you are able to be more resilient. And we have spoken in the past on previous episodes about gratitude and how it helps to build resilience. So here again, it's really coming
Yeah.
back to tie it all in. When you are doing this, these are the things that are going to benefit from it. And I think it's really, really important for us to just step back sometimes and just look at the little ways that we can just remove some of that anxiety and stress. Like I'm traveling today, and normally I'm like so anxious. I still have some anxiety. Let's get too far off the thing now. But it's not like before. I have a plan. I've worked this plan. I'm saying this is how it's going to be. So I'm putting it out there, and that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, I hear you with the anxiety with travel. It happens. Some people love it. I love being at the destination. The
Me
process in
too.
between.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's the issue. It's the
I
process
want to
in
wake
between.
up and be wherever I want to go. You see, going through all the airports and the connectings and the luggage and the stuff, that's the part that
Yeah,
I'm not a happy
yeah.
camper about. And
And
somehow, I'm not
mm,
one of those persons that could just travel with my handbag and go. So
mm,
I'm in a little quandary. But yeah.
yeah, yeah. So and we talk about confidence in a general way, but confidence is actually something that you can feel confident in one area, but not feel as confident in another area.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
that's one of the very interesting things about this whole idea of, you know, feeling that you're capable and so on. There are some situations where, you might feel that you don't have enough skill, you don't have enough, and you may not actually be exactly trained the way you would like to be, but there is still a possibility of having a level of confidence. And so I was looking at, like, in the list of things that we're told, this is how you build self esteem, this is how you improve your confidence. We have things like being kind to yourself, recognizing positives, building a supportive network, um,
Yes.
looking after yourself in terms of like physically. So we're being kind to ourselves emotionally with the self talk, and we're being kind to our bodies in terms of being as healthy as we can be. And in all of these, there is gratitude. Yes, check. Be kind to yourself with the positive self talk. I can use gratitude, and gratitude influences and helps me with that. Check.
Mm-hmm.
Recognizing the positives. All right, yes, gratitude. That's how, we recognize what is positive on our lives. We stop and look at what we can be grateful for. Check. Building
Mm-hmm.
a positive and a supportive network. Remember, we spoke about gratitude and relationships a couple
Yeah.
episodes back, and how gratitude actually helps you with building positive relationships and supportive relationships at home, at work, and helping maintain that. So, again, gratitude, check. Looking after yourself with this self care and so on is all connected to being present and being aware of what's happening, being decisive as one of the qualities of self confident people. They're decisive. And
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
spoke about gratitude and decision making. So, at every step of what we do and how we build our confidence, gratitude is present, and gratitude helps energize and make the situation better than it would normally be.
It really does. It really, really does. And as you were speaking, the one thing kept coming up to me, and it was self-reflection.
Yeah.
And it's so, it's such a good habit to incorporate into our lives. Just that process of reflecting, and gratitude encourages that. And you
Yes.
spoke about it with the journaling, and that's just so important because you get to capture it, and like you said, you can then go back and you can read it. The words will always then be there to remind you when you get caught up, when things are being disrupted, when things are not going as you would like them to, when life just has interruptions as it will. You have that, and you can go back and you can remind yourself in that time of self reflection. You get to remind yourself about the journey that you've been on, how far you've come, where you are today. And it is in acknowledging that, and it is in acknowledging that in yourself and acknowledging that in others. All of these things are going to build your confidence. And when you are confident within yourself, you have that extra oomph where you feel, yes, I can get up and go and get this done. I'm going to go and have that speaking gig. I'm going to start this. But when you have that confidence, you then have that courage where you are more willing to take that step, to take the risk, to jump and build your wings on the way down because you have the confidence in what you're doing. And you build that confidence by incorporating gratitude into every sphere of your life.
Yeah. And it has to be a habit. It has to be a daily thing. It has to be part of your default. And it being a habit is how it gets to be part of your default action, because it's not as if once you decide that's it and there's never any doubt. Life situations come up and the doubt comes up, so how do you deal with it? What's the strategy for dealing with the doubt and managing the doubt and reminding yourself
Mm-hmm.
regularly about your abilities and what you're capable of, and the fact that this, as people say, this isn't your first rodeo. It and how do you remind yourself of that? And generally with gratitude. And every positive change, every development that we take on this journey of self development begins with awareness, self awareness. And as you said, that is one of the things gratitude allows us to do. Gratitude and this practice of pausing and observing the things that we have to be grateful, we have to make the assessment. We have to stop and look, and we have to take that honest look. And while we're taking that honest look and we're focusing on the things that are present, it also would highlight the things that are not present that we
Mm.
might want to be present, so that we can now make the decisions and take the action necessary to accomplish the goal. And so gratitude is like this light of love shining on our lives, where we get to see the good, the bad, the indifferent, and we see it from that perspective of love, and
Mm.
we can celebrate the things that are working well, and then we can lovingly nudge ourselves away from the things that aren't
Right.
working well. And I feel like that is really the essence of how powerful gratitude is when it comes to confidence and self-esteem, is because it reminds us to look at ourselves and look at other people from that perspective of, what is good in this situation here.
No, when you were speaking there, I remembered my three A's, and you would have heard me talk about this all the time. And I say this with my clients all the time. Three A's: awareness, acknowledge, and action. And when you spoke just now, it's about the same thing. It's about having the awareness of
Yeah.
what's going on. It's about acknowledging it. Okay, so this is what it is. And you said so well just now. This is what it is. So this is where I am. This is where I'm going. So these are the gaps. So you acknowledge where you
Mhm.
are and what needs to be done. And then you take the action. And it so mimics the gratitude strategy because you not only then say it, you practice it, but you
Yep.
do it every day. And if it's one thing that you hear us speak to all the time, is that this is not something that you pick up when something happens. This is something that you do every single day,
Yes.
3 times a day, for the rest of your life. You make it a way of life. You make it a way of being. Just as we make things like exercising, we make things like time for meditation and our faith,
Hmm.
we must build gratitude into our daily habits like that so that we can have that life of fulfillment. I strongly believe that we were all meant to have that inner peace and to have
Yeah.
that life of fulfillment and joy. And I get it this morning and I get to go and do. I really feel very strongly about that. And I loved how you put it when you said lovingly nudge ourselves, because I want to remind everyone that that is how you are supposed to do the nudging
Yeah.
lovingly, not beat yourself with a stick and say, oh, you didn't do this and you should have not. No, no, no. You're not doing that. You lovingly nudge yourself. And I
Yeah.
think, I really, really think that that was so beautifully said. And I encourage everyone, lovingly nudge yourself. I often say, treat yourself with grace, treat
Hmm.
yourself gentle. Speak to yourself as you would to that person that you love the most in the world. But now I really think I have to also add lovingly nudge yourself. It that sums it all up, because you're going to give the nudge, but you know that you're doing it with love.
Yeah,
And
absolutely, absolutely. I feel that to my core, doing things with compassion and grace, because even when I teach writing, when I talk with the students, when I talk with parents, when I talk with the adults that I work with, it's all about compassion and grace, because when we're stressed, as you said, we've spoken about this several times, it's more difficult to make wise decisions. It's more
mhm,
difficult to implement the decisions. And the fact that if we keep, beating on ourselves, then we're increasing the stress, not reducing it. And so that compassion and recognition of, okay, so things didn't go as well as I would have liked. I really wish they would have gone differently.
mhm,
But instead of dwelling on the distress that came out of the situation, gratitude and the compassion and grace allows you to say, okay, what part of this, what can I learn from this? Right? If there's nothing else positive in this situation, there's a valuable lesson that would help you either not repeat the situation or make a significant difference that the next time, if it happens again, you know how to deal with it and you know how to adjust. And so we're much better able to treat with a situation with compassion and grace when we recognize what there is to be grateful for in the situation. So I tell my students, I tell my clients, I tell everyone, the whole part of, saying it right is using the loving words
mhm,
and using the positive words when we talk to ourselves and when we talk to others. And then when we're saying it loud, we have to document these things, and I keep coming back to documenting it because it's a point for me in my personal experience, because of the anxiety and the ADHD. When I'm in a moment where it's sometimes even difficult to breathe, the only thing that I can do is to sometimes pull my journal and start reading and start, identifying and reminding myself And that's how I come out of it. And it's a regular practice. And so I feel like that is like the number one thing. If I had to say, as we wrap up, if I had to say, what can you do now with gratitude to help you begin building confidence? Start writing it down if you're not already writing it down. If you are already writing it down, go back and read it.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's so important, to build within that feeling sure about yourself, as we started out talking this morning. It sets the state of being for everything else that's going to come afterwards. When you joined this morning, you were talking about these sessions and how they set the tone for the rest of your week and the week to come. And when you are writing it out and you are building in the gratitude and you're growing in confidence, you are setting the tone for what is to come. You're setting the tone for all the things that you are going to be able to do. And so on the back end, it's these simple things like writing, and it doesn't have to be long. You don't have to be writing for an hour.
Oh
You
no, I
can
spent
write
15
down
minutes.
exactly. And even if you don't have that, you can write down three things that you're grateful for. It cannot take you 5 minutes. Write them out, speak to them, and start to put the little things in that are going to make the big difference, because the difference is definitely going to be big.
Oh yeah, I can testify it's huge. And so thank you so much guys for, joining us for the live. If you are here, thank you so much. And if you're looking at the replay, at the recording, thank you for your time. And so please keep joining us next week. We're continuing. We're arranging some guests that come and, join the conversation. If you would like to be a guest, please reach out. We would love to have you here talking about how gratitude works in your life and how you use gratitude in your practice and so on. Because these are the ways, we always talk about getting it done, but it doesn't have to be stressful. We can actually get it done with gratitude. And that's what we're all about here. So have a wonderful rest of the day today, and we shall see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Take care. Have a wonderful day getting it done with gratitude.